Join our family of creators. Your support means the world to us. Subscribe now to the Content Creator channel. Your support keeps us motivated and helps us bring you fresh, exciting content every week. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey. Many people still believe that buying a house in Portugal is a golden ticket to fast-track EU citizenship. This is now a myth, a whisper from a bygone era of investment immigration. For years, the real estate option was the most popular and widely discussed route, leading countless investors to purchase beautiful villas, city apartments. However, as of late 2023, this pathway has been firmly closed by the Portuguese government. This significant change has reshaped the entire landscape and made outdated advice potentially very costly. The correction is simple, yet crucial. You can no longer qualify for the Portuguese Golden Visa by purchasing residential property, commercial property. The program is still alive, but its focus has pivoted away from the property market. The primary reason global investors remain intensely interested in the Portugal Golden Visa is its clear and structured path to potential European Union citizenship. Holding a Portuguese passport is one of the ultimate goals, as it grants the right to live, work, study in any of the 27 EU member states. This opens up a world of opportunities, from accessing world-class universities for your children to expanding a business across the continent's single market. For many individuals from countries with limited travel freedom or political instability, an EU passport represents an unparalleled level of security, mobility, and personal freedom for themselves and for future generations. Also, another major draw is the program's remarkably flexible physical presence requirement. Unlike many other residency programs that demand you spend the majority of the year in the country, Portugal's Golden Visa has a very low stay requirement. Applicants typically only need to spend an average of 7 days per year in Portugal to maintain their residency status. This flexibility is a game changer for investors who have business commitments, family commitments, personal commitments elsewhere. The program's provision for family inclusion further amplifies its appeal. The most significant development in the history of the Portugal Golden Visa arrived in October 2023 with the implementation of the Mais Habitação, or More Housing Law. This landmark legislation brought about a radical change by completely removing all forms of direct real estate acquisition, indirect real estate acquisition as a qualifying investment for the program. Before this change, purchasing property was by far the most popular route, accounting for over 90% of all Golden Visa applications. Investors were drawn to the tangible nature of a property asset, the potential for rental income, capital appreciation, making it a seemingly perfect two-for-one deal. The government's motivation for this drastic measure was to address the escalating housing crisis in Portugal. The influx of foreign capital into the property market, particularly in hotspots like Lisbon, Porto, the Algarve, was cited as a key factor driving up prices and making housing unaffordable for local residents. With the real estate option off the table, the primary route for most investors in 2025 is a capital transfer into a qualifying investment fund, venture capital fund. The typical minimum investment is $500,000. Not just any publicly traded funds must be regulated and domiciled in Portugal. At least 60% of the fund's capital must be invested in commercial companies. Those companies must have their head office in Portugal. This ensures foreign capital supports Portugal's economy and businesses. The fund cannot be directly or indirectly focused on real estate. That prevents a backdoor to property investment. Ensure the fund's mandate and strategy are compliant. Technology, renewable energy, healthcare, other industries. The fund must have a defined maturity of at least 5 years, aligning with the initial residency period. Expect capital to be locked for the term, making it a long-term commitment. There are alternative routes for a niche of investors. One path is donating to support artistic production. Section 6. The path to residency and citizenship. The journey from initial investment to potential citizenship is a multi-stage process that unfolds over several years. Once your application is submitted and approved, you are granted an initial residence permit, typically valid for 2 years. To maintain this status, you must hold your qualifying investment throughout this period. After the first 2 years, you can apply for a renewal, usually granted for a subsequent 3-year period. That brings the total initial residency term to 5 years. Throughout this time, you must continue to meet all the program's requirements, including the minimum stay, maintaining your investment. A key feature is the minimal physical presence requirement. To keep your residence permit active, you only need to spend a very short amount of time in Portugal, at least 14 days in the initial 2-year permit period, 21 days during the 3-year renewal period. That averages out to just 7 days per year. After 5 years of continuous legal residency, you generally become eligible to apply for Portuguese citizenship. Section 7. Unpacking the risks. What could go wrong? The most prominent risk is investment risk, especially the fund route. Unlike buying real estate, which gives you a tangible asset, investing $500,000 in a venture capital fund carries uncertainty. Investing $500,000 in a private equity fund carries uncertainty. These funds can fluctuate in value. There's no guarantee you'll get your initial capital back, let alone a profit. Fund performance depends on the success of the Portuguese companies they back. It's crucial to conduct thorough due diligence before committing capital. Due diligence. The fund manager. Due diligence. Their track record. Due diligence. The investment strategy. Due diligence. Fees. Due diligence. The overall risk profile. Another major concern is liquidity and exit risk. Most qualifying funds have a required lock-in period, often lasting 6 to 10 years. That means your capital is tied up and not easily accessed. Holding a golden visa doesn't automatically make you a Portuguese tax resident. Section 8. Your step-by-step application guide. Beginning your golden visa journey requires a clear and methodical approach. The first and most critical step is to choose the qualifying investment route that best aligns with your financial goals and risk tolerance. For most, this will involve researching and selecting a compliant investment fund. This is not a decision to be taken lightly. You must perform extensive due diligence, evaluating the fund's management team, its investment thesis, historical performance fee structure, and its explicit compliance with the golden visa regulations. It is highly recommended to engage a qualified financial advisor. Once you have identified your investment, the next phase involves gathering all the necessary documentation. This is a meticulous and often lengthy process. You will need to prepare a comprehensive file that includes 1. Valid passports and other identification for all applicants. 2. Proof of your qualifying investment, such as a declaration from the fund manager. 3. A clean criminal record certificate from your country of origin and any country where you have resided for more than 1 year. 4. Proof of valid health insurance for Portugal. 5. A completed application form and proof of payment for the associated government fees. Each document must meet specific formatting and translation requirements. Section 9. Final thoughts, navigating the road ahead. In conclusion, Portugal's Golden Visa program in 2025 remains a viable and attractive pathway to European residency, but it is a fundamentally different program than it was just a few years ago. The era of securing residency through a simple property purchase is over. The new landscape requires investors to engage with more complex financial instruments, primarily regulated investment funds. This shift demands a higher level of financial literacy and a greater emphasis on professional due diligence. The program still delivers on its core promise, a flexible route to living, working, and traveling in Europe, but the entry requirements are now more focused and sophisticated. The journey towards a golden visa should be viewed as a long-term strategic plan, not a short-term transaction. It involves a multi-year commitment, both in terms of your locked-in capital and your adherence to the program's rules. Watching for official announcements from the Portuguese government and staying in close contact with your legal advisors will be critical to navigating any future amendments to the law. Flexibility and a long-range perspective are your greatest assets in this process. Therefore, before you take any action or transfer any capital, the most important step is to seek out qualified, independent professional advice. Engage a reputable law firm and a financial advisor who understands the nuances of the qualifying funds. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for updates.